Welcome, friends. Today we are doing a different kind of video. Exciting. And the different kind of video that we are doing is a type of seasonal video. What I am going to do today is go through 6 fragrances that I have discovered, worn, enjoyed over this past autumn and winter seasons. So, what I mean by that is that over autumn and winter, as if it wasn't self-explanatory, over autumn and winter, these are newish fragrances to my collection, if not brand new to my collection. And I have not necessarily worn these the most, but these have been standout fragrances for me. So, let's get started, shall we? The first fragrance I am going to show you that I have enjoyed wearing this autumn-winter is by the House of Gucci. And that is Gucci Pour Homme 2. For the eagle-eyed, you will know that I have Gucci Pour Homme 1 as well. I've actually got 2 of those. But I have actually enjoyed wearing this one more, considerably more. The other one is a little bit like... The other one, Gucci Pour Homme 1, is a little bit dry, incensey, smoky. I didn't take to it as immediately as I took to this. I really like this stuff. I bought it from Enchanté, and it was fantastic. It stood out straight away. Very wearable, very different, fresh and dark. It's got the black tea note. It's got violet leaf at the top with bergamot, and the black tea and the violet leaf play off each other beautifully. It's fantastic. I'm not going to review it, but this does go for more money than it was at retail. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. So this is now more money than it was at retail. So beware the prices of this creeping up, and they are creeping up, and they will continue to creep up. So just watch out for that. But it's a really good fragrance. It's really well made. I can't remember who the perfumer was. I think it was Karine Dubreuil Sereni. Forgive me for doing that to your name. Sorry. This is a really good fragrance. I prefer it to Gucci Pour Homme 1, but I haven't worn that as much. And that is the first fragrance. Second fragrance I'm going to talk about is this, and it is from the House of Hermes. Now, you can still get this, but this version is a vintage. It was released in the 80s, and I've actually got an 80s bottle of it, but I haven't whipped it out because I haven't been wearing it. This is the one that I've been wearing. This is the re-release under Jean-Claude Elena, I want to say. I'm not sure that it was actually him that re-released it, but it was brought out in that style bottle, you know. 2001, I think the re-release was. Maybe 2002. Smoky, leathery, fresh. When I found a partial of this on eBay, I was very keen and decided that this is something I should get. I was then reinforced in my belief about its quality and its strength, and was like backed up by Ramsey, the Ram, my twin brother from another mother. This is big on leather, birchy, like a birchy note in the leather, carnation, oak moss, vetiver, patchouli. Strangely enough, though, at the top, you do get, like, a couple of the citruses, and it has got citruses at the top. It's definitely got bergamot. There's almost lemon. There's a bit of spice in there as well, stuff like basil and cardamom. I know basil's a funny one, but I do get that sort of vibe from it. A little bit of jasmine, amber in the base. But in the leather accord, it definitely utilizes birch to create that leather accord, and it has got a smoky sort of quality. It's a fantastic perfume. Excuse me whilst I hydrate. There is the possibility that you could wear this as a signature scent if you wanted to be that kind of serious person. If you want to be taken seriously and you wear a suit quite a lot, this is very smart. It's very well put together. It is of the 80s, but it's not of the 80s like it's not like one of those like stereotypical 80s fragrances. You can smell that it's got that strength about it, but it's not a stereotypical 80s fragrance. But it is of the 80s. The original bottle in the shaker goes for silly money now. I managed to get a partial, which is nice, but I haven't worn that this year. I've kept that away in the cupboard. I might wear it in September when autumn winter rolls around again. Next I am going to do a fragrance that was also recommended to me by Ramsey, the Ram. And this is Boss Bottled. Boss Bottled? This is certainly not Boss Bottled. This is Boss Number 1 by Hugo Boss. This is the original bottle. This is... You can tell because it has not got the number 1 written under there. Later versions have the number 1, and then even later versions have changed the bottle quite considerably. So this is a honey fragrance, and I'm a big honey fan, especially when it's done well. I've got L'Envol by Cartier. I've also just acquired Miel de Bois by Serge Lutens, and I'm quite a fan of them. But this fragrance has one of those note listings that goes on forever. Basically, what you're going to get out of this is honey and like a chorusy, pissy sort of vibe, you know? It doesn't have civet listed, but it's definitely got like a slightly pissy kind of vibe. This is more of not a stereotypical 80s fragrance, though it did come straight out of the 80s. This is more of it's got that urinal cake sort of vibe about it, which is like no bad thing. It doesn't stick around for very long, but it's mainly honey. You get lavender out of it as well. It's quite floral, like a floral honey sort of thing, which is really nice. It's got citruses at the top, again, bergamot, probably grapefruit, apple. I distinctly remember there being apple in it because I remember thinking, is that where they got the idea for Boss Bottled from? You know, if they always been a big apple fan in Hugo Boss. Base notes definitely got oak moss in it. Came out the mid-80s. Tobacco, sandalwood, patchouli. But mainly for me, I get it's a beautiful honey fragrance. I was very, very chuffed to be able to get this bottle, and I am very glad to know Ramsey so that he could recommend it to me. Next, we will go from a fragrance you will have seen in my rotation many times. This is the only fragrance I've ever got a compliment off in the wild. And this is Opium, Secret de Parfum. Now, Secret de Parfum, I think, just means that it's the eau de, like the parfum version of Opium. Excuse me, whilst I hydrate once again. This is an eau de parfum. I think the original's an eau de toilette, because they used to make ladies' fragrances and eau de toilette. Now, mainly they're eau de parfums. This is fantastic. Like I say, it's the only perfume I've got a compliment off strangers in the wild, but it was two little old ladies in an auction house. Again, when you buy this, I don't know if you can see that. You probably cannot. Let's just cover the writing there so it'll focus. Well, then don't focus and be like that. This is made by Parfum's core. So it's late 80s, early 90s. I think this came out in 92. Myrrh. Huge myrrh fragrance. It's like Opium, but with the doses of the different ingredients changed around. And this is a massive focus on the myrrh. And it is lovely. It's absolutely fantastic. Like I say, two old women, great taste, obviously, chased us round the auction house and said, what is that fantastic smell? Are they pumping it into this place? And I was like, no, it might be me. And then they smelled us and they said, oh, good heavens, it is you. Really chuffed with that. Next. Nearly there. Next is another fragrance that was recommended to me by the Ram. And that is Lagerfeld Cologne Spray Natural, or Lagerfeld Classic as it's known now. You still get this exceedingly cheap. I don't know what the latest version is like. But this is... So this came out in the 70s, was it? 1978, I think it was. And it smells like... This is like 4 years after Lagerfeld took charge of Chanel, you know. Excuse me. And he didn't have anything to do with the perfumes, he said, at Chanel, which is strange because you would have thought they'd have an overarching breach, but maybe somebody else took care of that. But under Lagerfeld, Chanel released some of the best fragrances that we have. Antaeus just springs to mind straight away, you know. Bleu de Chanel, it did generate like a completely new genre, you know. Egoist, which was a massive commercial flop, but this fragrance from his own brand, I imagine he had something to do with. And this is a Chanel-ish sort of fragrance. It's powdery, it's got aldehydes, it's an ambery sort of thing in the dry down. Al Pacino used it to get into character for Scarface, famously. I don't get that sort of vibe from it. What I get from this is like a musky orris, sandalwood, slightly tobacco with some sharp aldehydes at the top. It's for me, it's a little unsettling. It's out of my comfort house. I'm not big on musky fragrance. I say this as a massive Koros fan, but like, you know, that like sort of cloud, woolly sort of like non-defined sort of. It's not got any sharp lines in it. It's very soft. The orris in it's beautiful. And it challenged us as one of the reasons I liked it so much. I'm really glad. I haven't put... I mean, it's a 125ml bottle. I must have used like 5 ml. It's quite a lot considering the fact that I've got so many perfumes, which you can see. So I've really enjoyed exploring this one. And you will see it again in September. And last but not least, a fragrance which was brought to my attention by Scentland originally. And then the more I dug into it and found out about it, the more that I wanted to smell it and try it. You have seen this a lot on my channel. If you have watched my channel, I talk about it quite a lot. And that is from Alain Delon, Iquitos. This is a fantastic fragrance. This could be a signature fragrance. It was turned down by Dior in favour of Diorella, I believe. I could be wrong. Could be a Diorama. Was it Diorama? Diorissimo, I think, maybe. Something like that. One of those 80s fragrances. It was turned down by them, but Alain Delon saw the light and decided to pick it up, and thank God. Imagine how many perfumes just never see the light of day because they get turned down. It's absolutely shocking, you know. It's absolutely like the amount of stuff that we would never have got. Think Cool Water. If you've read the book, which I highly recommend that you do, called The Ghost Perfumer by Gabe Oppenheim, me and Eugene interviewed him on Eugene's channel a while ago, and it was a great interview. I really enjoyed talking to him. He's a sound bloke. He will tell you about how Pierre Bourdon's really struggled to get perfumes like taken out, and then they would give up, and it just shows the culture that is in perfumery, that they have to, perfumers like will make and create loads of different things and still not get anywhere. You know, I just imagine how many great perfumes are just like sitting in perfumers' drawers. You know, but back to Iquitos. This is another fragrance with a massive, monumental list of notes, but I'll pick out the ones that I get. Oak moss, civet, jasmine, rose, green. It's got a green vibe to it, and a little bit of leather. But I mean, seriously, there must be about 20, 25 notes in here, which makes you wonder how many actual like ingredients have gone into it. You know, how many actual chemicals are in it. There's aldehydes. It's got that fresh, almost like shampoo sort of thing. There's a warmth from like a honey and jasmine sort of, like nothing ever takes over. It's a really classically well-made perfume from one of the best perfumers that there has been in Gerard Anthony. Everything he made was a straight-up banger. Everything he made was an absolute banger. You know what I mean? Yes, he made Balenciaga Pour Homme. I may very well wear this in the spring. I'm not sure I want to wear it in the summer. I might wear it once to see how it goes, but I've really enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed it. I really enjoy spraying from these bottles as well because the sprays are mint. But this bottle's class. It's meant to be like a cobra's head. But anyway, there we go. Big oak moss fragrance. That's probably one of the reasons I like it as well. But it's very classic. Right. I'm finished. Thank you very much for watching these 6 fragrances that I have discovered during the last 6 months. Soon you will be seeing videos from me with the background will be completely different, and all the fragrances I'm talking about will be completely different. Exciting times. So, I will see you again then. Goodbye.